I'm really happy. I felt good in a lot of the moments here and I was able to overcome obstacles. Especially being the first week on grass, I'm really happy.
The crowd is absolutely roaring in the stadium right now, and if you are a tennis fan, you need to stop whatever you are doing because we have just witnessed something that defies all logic. Welcome back to Tennis Pulse, where today we are breaking down a match that will genuinely go down in the history books as one of the most intense, heart-stopping, and absolutely brilliant displays of tennis in 2026. Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, predicted the absolute madness that was about to unfold on the court today, when Eala stepped up to face the legendary Chinese star Shuai Zhang. If you thought you knew what drama looked like in professional tennis, think again. Because what we saw today was a masterclass in resilience, a literal crazy thriller that kept everyone on the absolute edge of their seats from the very first serve to the final spectacular match point. This was not just a regular victory. This was a statement, an emotional roller coaster, and a definitive moment where history was made right before our eyes. Before we dive deep into the tactical genius, the unbelievable shifts in momentum, and the precise moments where the match almost slipped away, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you do not want to miss any of our deep dive analysis on these historic sports milestones. Let us set the stage, because to truly appreciate how monumental this victory is, you have to understand the sheer weight of the challenge Eala was facing. Shuai Zhang is not just any opponent. She is a seasoned veteran, a powerhouse of Chinese tennis, known for her deadly precision, relentless baseline play, and an uncanny ability to read her opponent's mind under pressure. When the draw was announced, critics and analysts worldwide were skeptical, whispering that perhaps this would be too massive of a mountain to climb, predicting a devastating defeat for the young star. The atmosphere in the stadium was electric but heavy with tension, with fans splitting the air with cheers, waving flags, and bracing themselves for what everyone knew would be a brutal physical and mental war. Right from the opening game, it became glaringly obvious that this was not going to be an easy walk in the park for either player. Zhang came out completely on fire, striking the ball with an aggressive depth that immediately pushed Eala back behind the baseline, forcing her into a defensive shell. The first few games felt like a complete nightmare start as Zhang looked absolutely flawless, painting the lines with precise forehands and capitalizing on every single minor error. The crowd watched in absolute silence as the momentum heavily swung in favor of the Chinese veteran, and for a moment, it genuinely looked like the predictions of a swift defeat were going to come true. Eala was struggling to find her rhythm, her usual explosive footwork looking just a second too slow against the lightning-fast pacing of Zhang's returns. You could see the frustration building, the intense pressure of the grand stage weighing down, and when the first set slipped away, the tension in the arena reached a boiling point. But if there is one thing we have learned about Eala, it is that you can never, ever count her out, because she possesses a fighting spirit that burns brightest when her back is completely against the wall. As the second set commenced, you could visibly see a physical and mental shift take place on the court. Instead of crumbling under the massive pressure of a potential straight sets defeat, Eala dug her heels into the court and decided to fight fire with absolute fire. She began to alter her tactical approach, stepping up closer to the baseline to take the ball much earlier, effectively cutting down the reaction time that Zhang had been utilizing so beautifully in the early stages of the match. The rallies transformed from standard cross-court exchanges into brutal, high-intensity wars of attrition, with both athletes pushing their physical limits to the absolute maximum. Eala began finding those unbelievable angles, hitting her trademark down-the-line backhands with a newfound ferocity that finally started to crack Zhang's ironclad defense. Every single point in that second set felt like a mini-drama within itself, filled with incredible deuce battles, spectacular baseline saves, and jaw-dropping volleys at the net that left the commentators completely speechless. The crowd was fully re-energized, matching the soaring intensity on the court as Eala break after break fought her way back into the driver's seat. It was a complete psychological battle of wills. Zhang was throwing absolutely everything she had at the young star, utilizing her immense experience to mix up the pace with deep slices and sudden drop shots. Yet, Eala anticipated almost everything, moving across the court like a shadow, turning defensive desperation into offensive masterclasses. When she finally clinched the crucial break to take the second set, sending the match into a deciding third set, the stadium erupted into absolute bedlam because everyone realized they were witnessing an instant classic, a pure crazy thriller. The final set was where the match transitioned from a spectacular tennis game into something legendary, an absolute battle of survival where tactical plans were thrown out the window and replaced by pure grit. Both players were visibly exhausted, their muscles burning from hours of relentless sprinting, yet neither was willing to give even an inch of ground. Zhang showed exactly why she is a respected champion, refusing to let the lost momentum break her focus, coming right back out with lethal serves that tested Eala's resolve. The games went back and forth in an agonizingly tense seesaw battle, with both players breaking each other's serves in consecutive games. It was the kind of high-stakes drama that makes sports the ultimate reality television. One bad mistake, one loose unforced error, and the entire dream would come crashing down. There was a specific moment deep in the final set where Eala faced multiple breakpoints, a situation where a single lost point would have put Zhang in a position to serve for the entire match. The stadium held its collective breath, the silence so profound you could hear a pin drop on the court. It was right there, on the absolute brink of defeat, where true champions are born. Eala did not play it safe. She did not wait for Zhang to make a mistake. Instead, she took the ultimate risk, blasting a spectacular, high-risk inside-out forehand right onto the edge of the line to save the first breakpoint, following it up with a brilliant ace that left Zhang frozen in her tracks. The sheer mental fortitude required to execute shots of that caliber under that amount of immense pressure is something you simply cannot teach. It is an innate, raw, competitive instinct. Having successfully navigated through that absolute storm, the psychological advantage completely shifted over to Eala. You could see the realization hitting Zhang's face that no matter what she threw across the net, her opponent was simply refusing to beat. With the wind completely in her sails, Eala unleashed an absolute storm in the final games, her returns finding incredible depth, forcing Zhang into rushed errors. The physical dominance and technical precision Eala displayed in those final moments were nothing short of breathtaking. When the final forehand return from Zhang flew wide of the tramlines, Eala dropped her racket, falling to her knees in an explosion of pure, unadulterated joy and relief as history was officially made. This monumental victory against a player of Shuai Zhang's immense caliber is a massive milestone that completely alters the trajectory of the season and sends a loud, undeniable warning shot to the rest of the tour. It proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Alex Eala possesses not only the elite technical skills to outplay the absolute best in the world, but more importantly, the championship mentality to survive the craziest thrillers. She completely broke down the veteran's game plan, adjusted her strategies on the fly, and refused to accept defeat even when the odds were heavily stacked against her. This is the exact kind of performance that defines a career, captures the imagination of fans globally, and inspires an entire generation of athletes back home and around the world. As we look ahead, the tennis world will undoubtedly be buzzing about this specific match for a very long time, analyzing how a young talent managed to completely outplay a Chinese superstar in such dramatic fashion. The analytics will show the incredible breakdown of winners, the high percentage of first serves in the clutch moments, and the sheer volume of baseline points won. But what the stats cannot capture is the pure heart and soul poured into every single second of this thriller. It was an absolute privilege to watch this match unfold, and it leaves absolutely no doubt that the future of tennis is in incredibly capable, wildly exciting hands. What did you think about Alex Eala's unbelievable performance today, and which specific shot do you think completely turned the tide of the match? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and stay tuned to Tennis Pulse for more exclusive coverage, breaking news, and in-depth analysis of the most historic moments in the world of sports. The final game was not just about tennis, It was a battle of pure human spirit. As both players stood exhausted at the net for a respectful handshake, the stadium erupted into a standing ovation that felt like it would never end. Zhang looked over with a mixture of disbelief and deep respect, knowing she had given her absolute everything, only to be denied by a rising force that refused to break. Down on the court, Eala took a moment to look up at the crowd, tears of exhaustion and pure joy mixing with the sweat on her face as she waved her racket to her ecstatic fans. This match officially proves that no matter how dark the start or how close the brink of defeat seems, true champions always find a way to write their own destiny. History was not just made today. It was earned through every grueling rally and every heart-stopping comeback. What a privilege it was to witness this unforgettable, crazy thriller. Do you think this is Eala's greatest victory of 2026? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next time on Tennis Pulse.